So don't talk to me about closing China away from India. Number two is don't ever underestimate China's commitment to Pakistan to defend Pakistan's legitimate interest of its sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Can you categorically confirm or deny to our viewers who are watching here in India that if a situation were to escalate between India and Pakistan, that China will not come to Pakistan's aid, providing it military and logistical supplies? How can the Chinese foreign minister continue to call Pakistan an ironclad brother and an all-weather strategic partner, and also use the same language which the Pakistani side is using, calling for an impartial probe, when in the past impartial probes have really not got anywhere for India in terms of, calling out these terror groups and getting the Pakistani state to act against these terror groups?
The point is very simple. We need to call for impartial and complete and thorough investigation into the background of this attack before any country should seize this opportunity to use this attack as the trigger for escalation of tensions or even conflict between India and Pakistan. Now, the third point I want to add, please, with your permission, is that China and Pakistan are all-weather ironclad allies. No one should second-guess this alliance between China and Pakistan. China will always come to Pakistan's help and assistance whenever Pakistan's sovereignty and territorial integrity will be threatened by any country. So this is a very serious matter. You're talking about a war between Pakistan and India on the one hand, and then you are talking about an ironclad alliance between China and Pakistan, and China's full commitment to defend Pakistan's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
I'm glad, Professor Gao, you've been upfront here on our show. Professor Chalani, at least you can't fault him for hiding the Chinese game. He's upfront and he's saying that it'll come to Pakistan's defense, which is its ironclad brother. I was going through the amount of weapons that the Chinese have supplied to Pakistan. It's full of 2 pages full, from JF-17 fighter jets to Yuan-class submarines to the P-10 and P-15 missiles. I mean, 60% of Pakistan Army's weaponry today comes from China. And Professor Gao, I have issues with what you said, but I certainly will not fault you for being forthright. So, Professor Chalani.
China today has the audacity to defend Pakistan and to say openly that it will come to Pakistan's assistance if its territorial sovereignty and integrity are threatened. The fact is that this nexus between China and Pakistan is a clear warning to India that India faces 2 regional adversaries, both of which are nuclear armed, both of which are revisionist past. Yeah. They are revisionist because they seek to change their borders with India. Both are not content with the status quo. Both are openly hostile to India. And therefore, India should be under no delusion.
No, India should claw back on this whole road to normalization. I mean, we have just announced that we're resuming the Mansarovar Yatra. We've just announced that we're resuming direct flights between Delhi and Beijing. India should claw back. I mean, today, Professor Gao, there are credible media reports, there is satellite imagery to show that Chinese logistical movements, including fuel and engineering supplies, near Pakistan's northern regions. Can you categorically confirm or deny to our viewers who are watching here in India that if a situation were to escalate between India and Pakistan, that China will not come to Pakistan's aid, providing it military and logistical supplies?
Thank you very much. Allow me to make several very brief points. First of all, I have great respect for India as a country and as a nation. On the other hand, allow me to emphasize the size of the Chinese economy today is about 5 times as big as India's economy. This is the reality. But the point is, if India wants to shut itself out of China, it's in the detriment of the Indian people. So don't talk to me about closing China away from India, because you will do that with great harm to the fundamental interest of the Indian people. That's number one. Number two is don't ever underestimate China's commitment to Pakistan to defend Pakistan's legitimate interest of its sovereignty and territorial integrity. So don't talk to me about closing China away from India. Number two is don't ever underestimate China's commitment to Pakistan